Welcome to Hero's Journey Physio Fitness. Our mission is to empower, inspire, and mentor people to reclaim their health and become self-reliant in their fitness. I'm your host, Dr. Cameron Hogue. Join with me as my co-host, Annabelle Rios. All right, we are going live in 3, 2, 1.
Man, it's been a while since I've heard you say it.
I'm not going to lie. I got a little nervous there.
You're like, what do I even say?
I was counting down with my fingers.
Is it 1, 2, 3 or is it 3, 2, 1?
Annabelle has that booming voice. He scares some people when we first count down the podcast.
Get your mind and body ready, guys.
Well, welcome everybody. Annabelle cracks me up. We crack each other up.
Good times here.
So one thing that we had mentioned last episode was, if you guys were needing help, to message us to see if you wanted to become one of our clients, we could coach you. What we didn't actually say was that it is online coaching. So we're not saying in person where you'd have to be physically in the area with us. So I know we are in, the Tennessee, Georgia area. So you might be in New York or somewhere else. We can still coach you. So we didn't make that clear last episode. So we wanted to make that clear. You can always send us a DM on social media, and we can work something out. And like we always say, like the podcast, subscribe.
5-star rating.
5-star.
5-star. Nothing less.
It helps the algorithm. So it helps other people just like you find us. Guys, we got a good one today too. So we talked last time about how to lose your first 10 pounds. What happens after that? This is beyond the first 10.
Beyond the first 10. We want to mention some key episodes that we really think you should reference.
Yeah.
Because we're building on that, right? So you may say, well, you didn't really get into the details of X or Y. It was because we want to keep repeating ourselves. So check out episode 8, the 3-4 path.
We love that episode. It hasn't been getting a lot of love.
We love that. It doesn't.
It's okay.
All right. How to manage stress.
Okay.
I think that's important.
Absolutely.
For long-term success.
Yeah.
And then the other one is how to maintain weight loss for life.
Okay. Those are some bangers.
They're bangers.
Every time we hit an episode, Annabelle goes, banger.
I was like, damn, this episode's going to be a freaking banger. It's like, you say that about all of them because they're all great.
So,
all right. So start us off.
So we call it the threefold path. After you set a goal and you meet the goal, there's really 3 paths you can take. You can set a new goal. You can change directions. And that change of direction means like if you were doing running, maybe you're trying biking, or you're keeping it interesting, fun. You don't have to necessarily be rigid in what you're doing, or maybe you're changing your routine, whatever. Or you can maintain. Those are 3 kind of different paths you can take. We're specifically talking today about setting a new goal.
Okay, sorry. I guess maintain meaning for weight loss, you're not gaining or losing, you're staying.
Yeah, like you're maintaining your weight. Maybe you're maintaining your strength. Yeah. Maybe you're maintaining your overall fitness, whatever that category might be, or all of it above. Today, we're specifically talking about more weight loss.
Yeah, let's say you have more than 10 pounds to lose. You weren't that individual that only had 10 more pounds. You're the person who had
30.
Over 10, 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100.
So this
is for you.
This is for you. Okay. You lost it. It's been a couple months. You're doing great. What we need to do at this point is we need to reset your maintenance. Because remember, now you're 10 pounds lighter. So your maintenance was 2,000 calories. Now it might be something different. So what you want to do for this is recalculate what your maintenance would be with your new body weight and your activity level now that you might be doing a little bit more exercise or daily habits. Okay. And then you want to start tracking your maintenance, and you want to eat at this maintenance for, 1 to 3 weeks, a couple weeks.
I'm glad that you said that.
Because you don't want to constantly be at a calorie deficit. You might do it for a month. I'm just going to say 1 to 3 weeks, maybe a month of eating at this new calorie deficit. So you're not losing any weight, but you shouldn't be terribly hungry, because now you're eating a little bit more calories than you were before because you're not at the deficit anymore. And now your body is getting used to this new maintenance and this new set baseline.
Man, I love that because not many people talk about that.
Some people are like, 1,000 calorie deficit for the next 7 months. And then, you lose a bunch of weight, then you crash and then you rebound.
I think for me, when I learned this, it was pivotal. I was like, what do you mean? I don't have to keep trying to lose the weight until I get to my goal weight. You can actually take a little pause, a little breather per se. Let's say during this time you're traveling, you're going to go on maintenance, whatever it might be. And that's okay. That's part of the journey.
That is. But
yes.
after that month, you do want to recalculate your new calorie deficit.
So you have to hit it with some thunder.
You gotta hit, yeah. So then to continue losing weight, we still got to get into that calorie deficit.
Mm-hmm.
So maintenance for a month, and then calculate. We're saying, again, like last episode, 200 to 500 calorie deficit, probably more closer to that 500 calorie deficit, especially if you've already lost 10 and you still got more to go. You probably want to probably keep it closer to 500. And that will set you straight with the tracking. So we already talked last episode on why you should track. And now you should be pretty familiar on how to do it. We still want you to kind of continue with that, at least for a bit.
Yes.
Maybe until you hit that new goal, It doesn't have to be the rest of your life, but until you hit that new goal, maybe it's another 15 pounds.
Yes.
So I would keep tracking until you hit that 15 pounds.
And then I would say, again, something like repeat, find your new maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you get to this point in time, you get to your goal weight, you look at your 3-4 paths again. What do I want to do? Maybe it is maintain. I hit my goal weight and I want to stay at this weight.
Right now you've lost 25 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to maintain.
Find your new maintenance. I would say still track for a little bit so you know what it is. And then you can slowly stop tracking.
Yeah, you kind of got you're more intuitive at this point.
You can be more intuitive at this point.
I would still maybe weigh yourself just to make sure it's not creeping up again. But
we'll get into the accountability here in a sec.
All right,
you're getting ahead of yourself.
Sorry, Father Hannibal.
But it's true. But then you are intuitive now. You now understand. And one caveat that I would add is, in the future, whenever you are eating a new food that you've never had before, maybe look it up.
Yeah.
Why? It's going to go into your knowledge base.
Right.
Like, okay, now when I eat this food again, I kind of know.
Yeah.
It's at X calories.
Maybe broccoli is a new food for you. Maybe.
Broccoli, never heard of her.
All right, what's the next thing after they find their new maintenance and set their new calorie deficit?
Here's just a perspective that I want you guys to have, especially if you have more than 20, honestly, if it's more than 30 pounds, potentially even 100 if you have 100. This is something that I want you to keep in mind. When it comes to time, when it comes to this day-to-day work that you're putting in, we said this before in the past. You didn't get on this weight overnight. You didn't wake up and gain 100 pounds. So it's going to take a long time for you to lose it. Sally, we're just giving you the truth. It's going to take a while. And that while might be several years. So that's why, one, we said document your starting point. So you can reference back to that. And I want you to take a moment and look back and see where you started. But then also zoom out a little bit more. There's going to be days where you feel like you're not progressing. Maybe, you're not losing weight. Okay, one, you have those documentations where you can kind of see, okay, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We'll get into the non-skill victories here in a second. But zoom out and think 5 years, 3 years, 10 years. Big picture. We kind of talked about this in our 3-year rule. We're going to do a little rebranding later. But essentially what we want to say is you want to zoom out and look. And if you pay attention and if you keep doing the work, obviously you have to keep doing the work, you're going to be able to look back and say, I was trending upwards. It didn't feel that way during the moment in time. But if you keep doing the work and keep at it over a long period of time, you can say, oh, wow, I was actually progressing. Maybe 5 days you're doing great, and then 2 days you don't do great. But that's still 5 and 2 days are bad. So that's still more positive progress. And you zoom out and you say, wow, I've actually come a long way. Wow, I've actually have been putting in this work. It may not feel like it. So
yeah. No, I think that's really important. So that 3-year rule, I think that Ann was saying was really good. So there's this story. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Now this was, I learned this from a Messianic Jew. So I'm not sure. I believe this is correct. There's this tree. It's called the tamarisk tree, and it's over in the Middle East, probably around Jerusalem or where Israel is. And with this particular tree, it takes many years for it to bloom.
What would we say, 80 years?
Yeah, I think it was like 50 to 80 years.
50 years. Long time.
Long time. And so what happens is when one of the fathers of the family would plant this tree, is you would know that he's not planting it for himself in a way, or maybe even, he's not planting it for himself or his family immediately. But what's going to happen is it's going to blossom 50, 80 years from now. And the family will reap the benefits of him planting this tree. And he will too at a time if he's still alive, depending on how old he is. But that is kind of the mindset we're talking about here is, yes, you might lose a little bit of weight at first, but then if you rebound, what's the point? But if you're thinking long term, 50 years from now, like how much is that going to impact like your kids? Like you still being able to do things with them and still being able to get on the floor, and you're not taking a bunch of different medications, and I can't do this with you guys because of this, or all this kind of stuff. So even thinking long term, many, many years, like planting a tamarisk tree might be the mindset we need to have here. That's what we're talking about, time horizon. Anyway.
No, I am so glad. That's what we're getting at. We call it 3 years. We'll rebrand it later. But essentially, maybe 50 years is too long for you. It's like, I can't think that big yet. Start with 3 years.
Yeah, that was an extreme example.
No, but I think that is a good mindset to have and eventually get there. And for some people, that's untangible. So maybe start with 3 years. Think 3 years. 3 years from now, you can look back and say, wow, I've actually made progress. I've been changing my life. I'm potentially even changing my family's life.
That's so true.
While remaining in the moment, like we always say, one day at a time, while also remembering, the snowball effect, preventing the snowball effect, that 2-day rule. So trying not to not hit your goal for more than 2 days. So all these things tie in together.
Right. And then along with the beyond the first 10 pounds, you need to continue with those healthy lifestyle habits that we talked about, like the sleep, maybe it was the 10,000 steps, self-care, whatever that was, that is not really workout / nutrition, habit. We need to continue with those.
Oh, absolutely.
And Annabelle has this really good quote thing. I don't know what you want to call outline about making a habit.
Yes, that we found from, he's an online fitness coach, Dan Go. That's a cool name.
That can't be real.
Dan Go. I don't know if it's his real name or not. It probably is. Dan Go. Anyways, when it comes to like habits, he said it takes 3 weeks to start a habit. Okay. About 66 days to find a groove, 6 months to lock it down, 1 year to make it automatic, 2+ years to make it a part of your identity. So these are your milestones when setting a new habit. And guess what? Like we said, it takes time.
It takes time.
So maybe set your horizon for 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then look at this. Okay. 3 weeks, 66 days, 6 months, 1 year, 2+ years.
Yeah. And again, there's a lot of debate on habits and stuff like that.
Yeah. How to create it.
But I really like at least the generality, at least putting a number to it. Because I think a lot of times we need to speak in terms of like not being specific, but being more general, because people vary, and everyone is an individual and is individualized. So I think these are really good like milestones to think about. So right now you're probably getting closer to that 66 days maybe at this point, because we've already been doing this for about 2 months of the first weight loss, a month of being in maintenance, or setting a new caloric goal. So maybe we're starting to get into that groove, but keep it up until we lock it down and make it part of kind of our daily routine, and then it's going to become automatic after that.
Oh, you know what I just thought about?
What
do you want your identity to be?
Yeah.
And then do those things. You want your identity to be the person that never misses the workout. The person that's always filling the blank.
Person that grinds.
and make it your identity.
The person that doesn't eat cake when someone brings cake to the office.
Yeah.
Again,
Take time.
Think about it.
Think about it.
And it's not, it's whatever you want your identity and your habits to be, and it can be different for everybody, and it should be different for everybody.
It should.
I like this next one. You tell them the next one, Annabelle.
The next one. Okay. It's a long journey, guys. And we've talked about it already. There's going to be times where you get discouraged. Yes, you might have your progress picture, your weight, your initial weight on the scale, your measurements, but that might not be enough. And you may be stagnant in your journey. So, here are some other things, because we're focused on weight loss, guys. These are some non-scale victories. What's a non-scale victory? This is something that goes beyond just a number on literally the scale.
Yeah.
Do I have more energy?
Yeah. So energy levels isn't on the scale, but it's how you feel.
Do my clothes fit me better? Can I play with my kids and not get tired? Can I bend over and not feel any back pain?
Am I sleeping better? Well, all of these things are not scale related in terms of weight loss, but they are victories that should be celebrated and can keep you going.
Is my mood better because I'm lifting and eating and I'm eating healthier?
Oh, is that these are things that are going to happen, but we can't overlook.
And then they're intangible things that when you're starting off, you don't think about this. You're so focused on a number, but they should not be taken for granted.
Yes. So another thing is beyond the 10 pounds, and this is way, way beyond. This is maybe a little bit out of order too. Is once you get to that where you want to be, that desired weight, then you might need to estimate calories when necessary. Annabelle's already kind of talked about this, but if you're dining out, eating some sort of new food, you might need to new portion size. You might need to pull out the calorie calculating again and continue with that. But that is once you get to a desired weight and you are starting to incorporate some new foods or eating out and stuff like that. But that's way down the line.
Yeah.
Another good thing that we need to continue is that drinking plenty of water. Not only will that reduce unnecessary snacking, but it promotes our metabolism, keeps us a little bit more full. Was I hungry or was I actually just thirsty? So drink some water first. And again, that is kind of still one of the lifestyle healthy habits that we want. But even if that wasn't one of your lifestyle healthy habits that you were changing, I think that staying hydrated is going to help you beyond the 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Definitely. 100%. We don't want to throw everything out the window just because you lost the first 10 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
You got to continue with that exercise, whatever it was. You can't throw it out the window, people.
Yeah, we can't stop doing this, and they got you where you are.
That's so true. And again, we're going to make that plug. 3-2-1 principle. We like the fact that you have resistance training 3 times a week, at least. That's what's going to build the muscle. Cardio is going to help with the heart, going to help with burning some more calories. 1 gram of protein is going to help keep us full, help us preserve muscle or build muscle. So we can't throw out a regular exercise just because you lost the first 10. You need it to continue beyond the first 10. And Annabelle's already kind of touched on this one too, is you got to keep with these realistic goals. So let's just say it was 15 pounds. I think 15 pounds or another 10 is a realistic expectation after you lose the first 10. And then after that, you set a new goal. I wouldn't just shoot for 50. They need to be tangible, realistic goals that you set after you lose the first 10. And
then also having, like we already mentioned it, but having some maintenance time in between where you're giving yourself a break from trying to lose weight.
Yes.
And we've talked about it in other episodes about setting realistic long-term expectations. Like, for instance, most of us will not have the physique of a bodybuilder.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, 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 wah.
Maybe if you got really good genetics.
But I say that because I don't want you to get discouraged at the end of your journey and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, huh.
I don't look like that guy on Instagram.
I thought I was going to look like that.
But look at where you started. Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't compare yourselves. Compare yourself to yourself. Am I better than I was better than I was yesterday?
And be proud of yourself.
Yes.
So a lot of what we've been talking about is just helping you beyond the 10 pounds for more of a long-term success overall. And one of the things that we've mentioned Peter Attia's framework, and the how to eat, when to eat, and what's the last one?
It's how much to eat, when to eat, and what to eat.
What to eat, yes, that's it. So there's all that, right? At the end of the day, you need to make it your own by still adhering to trying to eat clean foods 80% of the time, 20% of the time. But that might look a little bit different. Maybe you do intermittent fasting with a little bit of, I don't know. I think we talked about paleo, but you also add this to it, et cetera, et cetera. What you want to make whatever thing that you have been doing your own. Don't limit yourself to what they have.
Yeah. Maybe you are a person and you need that structure and you need to be told exactly what to do, and I need to do keto. But for a lot of people, you need to kind of create it your own, like Annabelle's saying.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a vegan that likes chicken. I don't know. That's
Whoa, slow down there. Slow down. Easy.
But that's a true thing. Just you might not like something in that set diet that is putting on you, so critique it.
Yeah, maybe you did
Change
like it. Make it a keto plus insert.
Yeah.
And I say that because we're talking about long term here. Find one of those three. Find whatever you did. Maybe you didn't like this part. Change it up a little bit. Make it your own. And with that, I really think for long term success, you need to have about. Most of us eat the same thing every month. I would say to an extent.
Oh yeah.
Whether you're dieting, well, I don't want to say diet. Whether you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, or just never counting calories before, most of us eat about the same thing every single month. Well, now let's try to make 5, maybe 7 staple meals. They are your go-to meals. They are a healthier version of what you're eating now. And that's kind of what we're talking about, making it your own. It's maybe you like, I don't know.
Eggs. But you've been eating cereal for breakfast.
Yes. And like things like that. You're making something your own. Maybe you have making it, I can't think of something unhealthy now. Pasta. Making a healthier pasta. Or maybe you do like pasta. But finding something and making it your own, a little bit healthier, something that, I could do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like I could eat this once a week.
Yeah.
Or I could eat the same breakfast every day. I think Annabelle makes a really good point is while you're creating this way of eating, you're also creating some meal templates. These go-to meals that you can always call back on. You already know the calories. You already know the macros. You already know that it's healthy. Let me start getting those into my diet that I just like it, and it's just going to be on a regular basis.
Yes, you enjoy it.
Yes, and that's going to help. Another thing that I feel like we should have numbered these because we got a lot of them, but another thing that can really help is we need some sort of way to keep yourself accountable.
Long term.
Needed. Because we already said that tracking will keep you accountable in the short term, but there's other things that we need to do to keep us accountable.
Yeah, let's say you get on the line and you no longer have that. And that's kind of what we're getting. Like, what would I do? How do I keep myself accountable?
Maybe you need an accountability partner. Maybe you have a friend, whether they live in the area or not, that is going to text you every couple days or every week and said, hey, did you get your workouts in?
Gym bro.
Yeah, it's a gym bro. Or maybe you have a workout partner. Maybe you have to meet this person, and this person is going to ask you about your protein intake and is going to ask you, hey, I saw that you ate at this restaurant 4 times last week. You told me you're only going to eat there once. Maybe it's progress pictures. Maybe you continue on with those so you can kind of keep some sort of way.
Exactly. Or maybe, I'll say it, but I do know a lot of people have issues with it, is maybe you continue weighing yourself regularly. That might be your thing to keep yourself accountable. It may not be for everybody. You have to find something for yourself. For some, I'll bring in some David Goggins, the modern day I don't know.
You're gonna say prophet?
I was gonna say prophet. That doesn't fit. Philosopher. There we go. Modern day philosopher. He has this thing called the accountability mirror, where once a day he looks himself in the eye and just checks in with himself. Maybe that's what you do. Something that that's going to work for yourself that says, okay, this keeps me accountable long term.
And maybe you need a coach, a.k.a.
the heroes.
Let the hero journey know. We'll coach you up real good. But yeah, maybe you do need a coach that's going to keep you accountable. So some sort of...
or community.
Yeah, some sort of way to keep yourself accountable. CrossFit, I know you're in a community with that.
Yeah.
So, people know when you miss workouts and all that kind of stuff. So some sort of way. Lastly, We say this almost every time. It's the key. The king is consistency.
It's like cringe.
Oh my gosh, how many times are going to say being consistent? But beyond the first 10, you got to keep consistency going. You got to be patient. It's a gradual process. Stay committed. Stay consistent. Keep those healthy habits. Takes time. Good.
It's funny, but it's so true.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, after the first 10 pounds, it can take a variety of different shapes and ways that you can go. For continued weight loss, you are going to need to start to see some of these habits turn into into a groove, kind of make it more locked down. Like these are things that you're gonna need to incorporate in, but they will start to become part of your life, where it doesn't feel like you're adding something to your plate because it already becomes a part of you. It's no longer on the plate. It's part of you.
It's like second nature.
Yes.
I am this person.
Yeah. I know. I wake up and I drink a cup of water. I don't know, whatever. At first it was like I had to consistently think about it, but now it's just a part of what I do, part of my routine, part of my habit.
So I think whatever routine you have now, like let's say you drink coffee every morning, you don't have to think about it. It's automatic. Yeah. Like you wake up, you're reaching for that cup of coffee.
All right. So confession, I was so out of it this couple days ago. No, it was yesterday. I woke up and, fed the dog, fed the cat, let the dog out. I usually make the coffee. Then I'll go get ready for work. And I go back into the kitchen before, like, I was going to eat breakfast and get my coffee and head out. And I look, and I forgot to put the dadgum pot under the drip coffee. And it had like 30 ounces of coffee all over the counter and floor. And I'm like, that's how today's going to go. I was in shock. I was like, I've never forgot to do that. What am I doing? I broke my habit, guys.
It wasn't your identity anymore.
I know. I questioned everything.
What is life?
But seriously.
That's funny.
Okay. Call to action here. We want you to find some way to keep yourself accountable. A coach, a mirror, accountability partner, some way for you to continue beyond the 10 pounds. You got to keep yourself
Community.
You got to keep yourself accountable. And then the second thing, Annabelle, is
you need to create your way of eating, whatever that looks like, and have your meal plans.
Yeah, it's got to be custom to you. Like the day that like dawned on me that it was like, oh wait, I don't have to eat how Arnold Schwarzenegger eats. I need to eat how Cam Hogue eats. You know, I don't need to have his workout. I need to do what's best for me. Like he already has big.
Give me the Cam Hogue special.
Yeah, like
extra sauce.
Right. Like maybe my lagging body part is biceps. I need to train those more than Arnold. Arnold said he needed to train his calves more. And well, you don't need to train your calves. Your calves are huge. So just stuff like that. Once you find that it is custom to you, it's going to work the best, and it doesn't need to be someone else's. It needs to be yours.
It's going to last forever.
What was that?
I don't know. Was that SpongeBob?
Oh, maybe.
Was it?
I thought you were singing a song.
No, I can't sing.
He cannot. I can attest.
I can sing. It's just not good.
Oh, that's true. Well, you got anything else, Annabelle?
I think that's all I have, Doc.
All right, guys. Just remember, you're human. We shouldn't seek perfection, but daily improvement.
All right, guys.
See ya.
See ya.